Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be when you realize you don't want to know. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So what I'm referring to when you realize that you don't want to know, this is when you've seen enough. It's when the relationship is over, you're healing or you're well on the healing path. And you understand now that going no contact, it will benefit you, it will insulate you, it will protect you, and it will allow you to not know what is going on in the life of the narcissist. Now there are two ways here. One is you shouldn't know about them and you don't want them to know about you. Side note, pro tip, if the relationship ended recently, you're probably curious, you're wondering, you're looking for closure, you're looking for answers to the questions you have. The narcissist won't provide those answers, they won't give you closure, and they won't do anything to benefit you because they never have. The discard's a very challenging, very toxic, and very debilitating thing to go through, but then again, so is the narcissistic relationship. One thing, once you realize that the narcissist did not ever have your best interest at heart, one thing that you'll need to realize is that the less you know about the narcissist, the better off you are. And I'm talking about anything from where they are living, to their hair color, to who they are seeing, which is the new supply, and we don't want to know about the new supply if we can avoid it. Also to what they're doing, meaning their hobby groups, or if they're still connected with certain people that you were in a relationship with in the past. You don't want to know anything. And this is a very pivotal part of the healing path, when you finally realize that you don't want to know anything. And why it's challenging for so many people is because when you're in the narcissistic relationship, you are working for them. You become an extension of the narcissist. You do anything they want you to do, when they want you to do it, with whom and how. You lose your identity, you lose your sense of self, you lose everything about you to the narcissist. And again, this is how the narcissistic abusive cycle goes. It goes around and around and around in a loop. And in the middle of that loop is the one common denominator, which is the narcissist. They enable, or they surround themselves with enablers and flying monkeys and people who are subservient to them, or people who are reliant upon them for certain things. Maybe it's a job, maybe it's money, maybe it's a roof over their head, or to pay tuition. Who knows what it is, but the narcissist only keeps people around them that either A, need the narcissist, B, believe that they need the narcissist, or C, who are doing something for the narcissist. And it could be the bidding of the narcissist, it could be spying for the narcissist, it could be giving them access to the ski chalet or the beach home, etc. The narcissist does not just enter relationships with anybody. If you don't have something that they can take from you, or something they can use and abuse and take advantage of, they're not going to do anything to keep you in that relationship. Now flip it, there are times when the narcissist will try to kick people when they're down. Specifically people who are vulnerable, specifically people who are empaths and who are kind, loving, stable, healthy people. That's why the path post-narcissistic relationship, whenever you're ready, is to go no contact and block these people. Now when I say that, I say it virtually in every video I create, because not only does it work, but I'm going to go back to the thumbnail. The less you know about the narcissist, the better off you will be. You see, the narcissist took their best shot at you when they were in that relationship with you. They did anything they possibly could to punish you for being you. And some of the weapons, or some of the tactics, the manipulating techniques that they administered to you included gaslighting, stonewalling, rage fits, triangulation, the smear campaign, projection, mirroring. They did so many things with you that you didn't know what you were up against. Remember, you weren't taught this in school, so you didn't have the definitions on the narcissistic abusive cycle. What you had was the experiences, and the education, and your definitions, when you put them together, that equals wisdom. And this is what I shared recently in a video. The wisdom isn't for everybody. It's for those of us who have healed, or those of us who are healing and have found that needle in a haystack, and who have practiced, or who are about to practice, radical acceptance, and realize that that relationship was what it was. It wasn't what we wanted it to be. It was a very, very challenging relationship, to say the least, to be a part of. The narcissist manipulated you. They hoodwinked you, they tricked you and trapped you, and they were wearing a mask when they met you, and they assimilated themselves with you. They glommed onto you and your beautiful, bright, shining light, trying to get you to do what they wanted you to do. And that's why when you're in the relationship, you kept on wanting to know where the narcissist was, who they were with, what they were doing, what time they're coming home. Is their gas filled with? Is their car filled with gas? Do they have all their bills paid? Is there enough food in the house? Did I cook the right food? Is the house clean? Should I walk the dog? You were always questioning yourself, because the more you did for the relationship and for the narcissist, the more the narcissist took you for granted. The more they took you for granted, the more they wanted you to do things for them. And the more you needed to do things for them because you were caught up in that zombie-like, trance-like state, which is the devaluation stage or the narcissistic fog, the more you did things for them, the more you wanted to do things for them because you were settling for less and less and less. You were settling for breadcrumbs of the love bomb stage, breadcrumbs of recognition, breadcrumbs of, hey, good job, thank you for doing that. Well, you won't get the thank you, but good job. Breadcrumbs of anything. You see, what the narcissist does is in the beginning of these relationships, they manipulate people into thinking that they are about to enter the best relationship they've ever been a part of. It will be so good and fantastic that you have no idea what you're in for. That's why these relationships begin on a super high. You're taken on a roller coaster of emotions, unlike any other relationship you'd ever been a part of, because the sustainability of the narcissistic relationship is just that. It's not sustainable. It burns out like a match. Picture a match, you light the match. Well, what happens? Boom. The thing gets ignited and there's a beautiful bright flame there. Not a light, a flame. But then eventually that thing smolders and it burns out. That is the narcissistic relationship in a nutshell. There's no substance to these people. There's no core. There's no authenticity or genuineness. What they need to do is steal and capture people's beautiful, bright, shining light like they did with you. Now, having said all those things, the narcissist, once they place you where they want you, which is in that devaluation stage, and they begin to remove more and more of your assets and resources and clarity and mindset and hopes, dreams, aspirations, relationships, health, money, assets, everything about you, eventually there's a tipping point there, which means you don't have as much to give as you used to when you entered the relationship. And again, the narcissist knows that. And that's why they're always testing the temperature of you. They're testing the temperature of the relationship, and they're seeing if you acquire new assets, or if you got a promotion or a pay raise, or if you just inherited money, or if you own more than you told them you owned, etc., or if you have money in a 401k that they never knew about, or if you owned other properties they didn't know about. This is why they're always looking around. They're snooping around people's properties. They're snooping around people's portfolios. They're snooping around people's energy, and they're spying and crawling all over social media. This is how the narcissist does their homework. So in the beginning, when they met you and they looked at you and they watched you and they figured out and studied you, they said, yeah, you'll do for a period of time, which was the length of the relationship. What do I need to do to get in that relationship? The narcissist said to themselves. They said, well, okay, I need to maybe cut my hair a little bit, or be a little more available, or look at them a little more often than they're accustomed, and maybe catch their eye here and there, and maybe I'll catch their eye a little bit more. Maybe I'll catch their eye even more and more. Next thing you know, they're looking at me and staring at me, and I will be looking back at them, batting my eyelashes, and one thing leads to another, and maybe they will approach me because I drew them into a relationship. I drew them into a web of manipulation that they don't even know about. And then that relationship will start off as friends, and I see you were looking at me, and wow, you look adorable, and etc., things like that. And you grab a coffee, coffee turns to lunch, lunch turns to dinner, dinner turns to the weekend, and boom, now the narcissist has captured their next person to enter the relationship. This is what they do. It's what they were doing before they met you. It's what they did with you, I'm sure, or something similar. And it's what they're doing right now, or they're trying to at least. But having said all those things, that's when you wanted to know about the narcissist. You were curious. You wanted to know about where they came from, their past relationships, their siblings, their upbringing, their childhood, etc. And they told you whatever they thought would get you to believe in what they told you. Because the narcissist always speaks out of both sides of their mouth. You're not going to get honesty. You're not going to get forthrightness. You're not going to get truth. You're not going to get the cold, hard facts of the way their upbringing was. You're going to get little slivers of it here and there, and then you're going to get other sob stories. Remember, the narcissist is educating themselves just like you are, but they're educating themselves in a different manner. What they're doing is they're trying to figure out how to manipulate people quicker, faster, how to get as much from those people as quickly as they possibly can, because now with the interwebs and the smartphone, now the narcissist can get supplied 24/7. It was advantage narcissist the whole time on this planet called Earth, from the beginning of the minute of existence of humanity on the planet until the smartphone came out and until the internet came out. And that's when, of course, yes, narcissism spiked immensely, hugely. But that's also when we, people like you or myself, the beautiful, bright, shining light, that's when we became awakened and aware. And we realized that there are people out there that don't have our best interest at heart. And the narcissist is certainly at the top of that list. So we didn't have the wisdom back then. And I'll be blunt with you, before the internet or the smartphone, we probably would have never figured that out, because books and articles and magazines and all these things of days gone by, they didn't really do that much to educate people. They scoured over it, or they scanned through it, or they gave it a few paragraphs in certain literature books or tomes, but they didn't give it the attention it deserved. And then what happened? Okay, well, of course, the internet came around and people created channels, etc. And now that's why you're becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered. And I need to say something. For anybody who did the hard, heavy lifting way before the internet or way before the smartphone, I applaud you. Thank you very much for doing your work. And I'm sure most of you aren't on the planet any longer. But for those of you who are, I appreciate the work that you've put into educating people on the planet. Thank you. Without you, we couldn't have figured out what we did. And we've taken the torch, and now we, people who are getting the wisdom and who are paying it forward, are applying our skill sets and our mindset and our experiences and our journey. We're paying it forward to help other people out who need help, that don't even know that they need help. And so this is why I'm sharing, as the thumbnail mentions, when you get to the point where you don't want to know anything about the narcissist, that's a great thing. It's a good thing. And usually when you figure it out, it's not the day you go no contact and block them. It's usually afterwards, because when you go no contact and block the narcissist, that usually is a tough pill to swallow, but it's a necessary step in the healing path. It's a necessary step to get your clarity back, your mindset back, and to really wrap your head around what kind of relationship you were in. But it's not usually until afterwards, and I'm not going to put a timeline on it, but after you go no contact, etc., not only does the clarity return, but that's when you realize, wait, I don't want to hear their name. I don't want to say their name. I don't want people to talk about them. I don't want to know updates about them. I don't want to know where they are, who they're with, what they're doing. I don't want to know about anything. And it's not specifically that the curiosity has dissipated, although a lot of it has, I'm sure. It's that you realize that knowing anything about them is going to keep you stuck. It's going to keep you trapped. It's going to keep you in the past. It's going to keep you wondering and thinking, wow, did I do enough? Did they love me? Did they care about me? Have they changed? Can they really be a better person, etc.? Well, you now know, or you're learning, that these people only deteriorate over time. They don't improve. They can tell you whatever they want to tell you. But remember, these people are snake oil salespeople. They'll tell you whatever you want to hear or whatever they think you will buy to get you to believe into the mask, to get you to give them one more chance, one more opportunity, maybe even to unblock them, etc. Again, I'll say it one more time. Once you block these toxic people, you really need to keep that block button blocked. The block button was created for a purpose. Utilize it, understand it's there for your benefit. And yeah, it may sting for a little while, but once you get through that and once you understand that blocking will really help you to heal, then that's when you should do it. But when you get to the point where you realize you don't want to know anything about them, that's a great thing. It's a really good thing. That's when you've turned a corner on the healing path. And that's when you realize, oh my gosh, I used to do everything for this person. I paid for their bills. I drove them. I was the pool boy, the Uber person, the chauffeur, the person who planned for and paid for vacations, and the person who helped the extended family, and the person who paid for tuition and did everything I could. And I would have done so much more. That's what you will say. And then you'll realize, yeah, I did it. And even then it wasn't enough. Why? Because it wasn't enough. It would never be enough. The narcissist was always looking to break that relationship, just like they broke relationships before the one that you were with, that you were in with them, and just like they're breaking the relationship that they're in right now. So don't think for a moment that the new supply is living a life of cupcakes and unicorns and puppies and rainbows and snickerdoodles and marshmallows. That's not happening. They're getting peppered with abuse every single time they communicate with the narcissist, or in the house or the apartment or in the car, wherever they are, or they're a toxic person themselves. And yeah, could they be experiencing a mini love bomb / euphoric stage? Of course they could, but that's not sustainable, as I mentioned to you earlier. But when you get to the point where you realize you don't want to know anything about them, that's a good thing. That's when you will also figure out who is in your camp, a different layer of figuring out who is in your camp or who is in your corner. Because if people that you've told, let's start with immediate family members as an example. If you told them, hey, I don't want to know anything about this person. I don't want to know what they're doing, who they're with. I don't want their name brought up. I'm healing. I don't need it. It's not going to help me out. And let's say they listen to you and they pay attention and they did get information, but they didn't say anything to you. Well, that's a good thing. Number two, well, number one here is they shouldn't be in contact with the narcissist, but unfortunately, many times the immediate family members of you will still stay in contact with the narcissist for various reasons, and they shouldn't. That just tells me a lot about them. But the point being is, if they have information about the narcissist, they shouldn't say a word. They should appreciate your wishes, and they should want you to heal. And if they have the ability to not share information with you, they shouldn't, because that's what you would do. But flip it. Let's say that they did find information out about the toxic narcissist that you were in the relationship with, and they just texted you or called you and said, hey, what about Ava? And you're like, I didn't need to hear that. What is this? What's going on? Well, are they triggering you on purpose? Are they naive? Do they think they were helping you out? Are they going to do it again? Are they respecting your boundaries? These are all things you're going to have to think about and figure out for yourself. Because remember, not everybody is who they appear to be. And certainly not everybody has your best interest at heart. And when you need help from somebody, specifically a loved one or someone who you respect and is a good, solid person, and they're not supporting you, that's a red flag. You really, really need to understand and take a close look at those people you surround yourself with. Understand what I'm sharing. Now, having said these things, you will get to a point, and at least my hope is you will get to a point, and many of you have, when you just don't care about not only the narcissist, but what they're doing, where they are, and how they're living their life. And that's where you should be. That's when you have either reached the pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference, or that's where you are striving to reach that place. But one way or the other, the less you know about the narcissist, the stronger you get. The stronger you get, the smaller they get. The smaller they get, the less you care about them. And the less you care about them, the more energy you have for yourself. That's when you can take a class, teach a class, read a book, write a book, travel, fall in love again if you want to. You can create new friendships. You can rebuild broken up relationships with people who are not in communication with the narcissist. You can sleep in till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or you can stay up till 3 o'clock in the evening. You can do whatever you want to do, as long as there's no toxicity in your life. And the toxicity that came from the narcissist was more than enough for a lifetime. It was more than enough for 1,000 lifetimes. That's why few people ever get the wisdom. Few people ever apply the tools. Fewer people reach the pinnacle and the mountaintop of indifference. But you are doing all three of those. You have the tools, you have the wisdom, you have the experience, and you've either reached or you are striving to reach the pinnacle of indifference. That is rarefied air. That's where I am standing, straight up as an arrow, reaching my arm down, ready to pull you up. And I've helped so many hundreds of people, thousands if not people, to get there. And I'm helping you right now. That's why you need to stay the course. That's why you need to go no contact. That's why you need to insulate and protect yourself. That's why you need to not overshare. That's why you need to learn to say no, the strongest word in the English language. And remember, when you say no to something or someone, you are saying yes to yourself. That is why each and every day I frequently repeat the messages on the videos that I create. And the reason why I do that is because eventually, if you listen to these long enough, a few of them will click, then a few more, and a few more, and a few more. And then you're going to get that one day, you're going to say, you know what? Today's the day. Today's the day I'm blocking them. Maybe you block them on your birthday. Maybe you block them on an anniversary. Maybe you block them a month after the relationship ended. Who knows? But whatever you do, you will do it. And when you do it, you need to understand that you're changing, you're evolving, you're growing. You're really becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered. And the narcissist isn't doing any of that. They're stuck in that low vibrational quagmire state. They cannot elevate. All they do is repeat back and regurgitate people's words and common phrases such as this: how are you? Thinking of you. How are you doing? Missing you. Hi. K. There's nothing to them. And there are two parts about that before I close the video. One, they would send texts like that when you were in the relationship with them because, one, they're lazy. Two, because they don't have anything to offer. They're not going to ever text you and say, hey, how are you? I was thinking about you. I want to wish you the best, and I want to tell you that I really appreciate what an amazing human being you are. Never going to get that. You didn't get it when you're in the relationship. You're certainly not going to get it now. And the reason you're not going to get it now is because why? Because you've gone no contact. And now you want nothing to do with these people. And the less you know about them, the stronger you get. The stronger you get, the more you realize that that person took their best shot at you, or those people did, and they failed. And they failed miserably. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. There are so many things I could talk about. One day, maybe I'll create a video and keep doing what I'm doing, but not 10, 20, 25 minutes. Maybe it will be hours. If you would like me to do an hour-long video or longer on a specific topic, I will gladly do it. Because remember, my moonshot is to speak publicly in auditoriums, in event venues, eventually in stadiums, etc., to spread the word, spread the message, and to pay it forward to help out those people that don't even know that they need help. Remember, that was you at one point. That certainly was me. That is why each and every day I create videos. That is why each and every day you need to come back, get your cup full, top your cup off, and realize that where you are now is where, if it's where you want to be, that's a great thing. If where you are now is not where you want to be, well, there's work to be done. Continue to focus on yourself. Continue to understand that you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.